Dustin, if he's going to win, it's like I said before, he's got to grapple. He's got to grapple, but it's easier said than done. Again, I said the same thing about Vitor Belfort. It's one thing saying that, it's another doing it. If you look at the fights that they had, look at Conor, right? Who did he beat? Eddie Alvarez. He smoked him quick. Who else? Who else did he beat? Donald Cerrone smoked him easy. Most of his fights, the point I'm trying to make, they're quick. They're not wars. The last time he had a war was against Nate Diaz, which was 2016. So, 4 and a bit years ago.
And that was a really, really close fight.
It was a really close fight, but still, that's the only war that he's had. Other than that, and obviously he had the boxing fight with Mayweather, but it wasn't necessarily a war. It went 10 rounds, and the referee stopped it. He got tired and was getting his ass kicked at the end. But if you compare that to Dustin Poirier, he's had 12 fights, so he's had 4 more fights, and pretty much every time he fights, it's a goddamn war. Like Dan Hooker, that was his last fight. Absolute war. Probably one of the best fights of the year for me. Then Holloway, that was a war. Alvarez, that was a war. Gaethje, that was a war. Every time he fights, they're impressive. They're such great fights, and he shows a lot of heart and a lot of will to win, and he takes damage, and it goes both ways. But that takes its toll. I talk about it all the time. So that definitely goes in Conor's favor. The fact that Dustin has been in so many wars and Conor hasn't. Number one, he hasn't been as active, but when he has been active, they've been quick. They've been dominating fights, so that is a big part of this coming into
the
this
last
one.
time that he had, and it wasn't a war, he was pretty dominant, but it was Max Holloway, unanimous decision, 7 years ago. But yeah, he typically doesn't really go to decisions.
Exactly. Jose Aldo, 13 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So all this wear and tear, this damage, it takes its toll on your body. It does. Now, when you look at the striking, I was when I was on my run before, I was watching Poirier versus Gaethje, just to refresh myself and things like that. And Dustin's a really good striker. He's a very good striker, and he hits hard. He puts combinations together well. But he's a little sloppy when he goes for things, and I'm not trying to talk shit about him. I'm just saying what I saw. And whilst he's a very good striker, sometimes he gets a little overzealous, and he leads with lefts to the left. It's a left. He leads with the left to the body. I'm just making sure. Those
left, floating right. Hands, they float back and forth. Who knows?
Well, you know what? Paul Kelly, just a little side note, is a friend of mine. One of Darren's friends as well. One of my own mates from Liverpool. We got to get him on the podcast. He's hilarious. And this is pretty serious that he used to say he doesn't know his left and his right. Okay, he doesn't know, but he knows hook and jab. He says when he's driving the car, you're going to say jab and he'll go left. They say hook and he goes right. That's the only way he knows his left and his right. I swear to God. Is it lads? I don't fucking know that. Jab or hook. That's it. Don't give me this left and right shit. Jab, hook. That's it. Anyway, so there you go. But yeah. He leads with a left to the body. If he does that, he's going to get countered with a straight left from Conor. He's probably going to get stopped. And a lot of times he comes in with combinations and he throws wild hooks and he does leave himself open. Conor McGregor's a sniper. You know what I'm saying? He's fast. He's definitely got the speed advantage. He's got the diversity advantage.
Explosiveness.
Pardon me, he's definitely more explosive.
Yeah.
For Dustin Poirier to win this fight, which he can win this fight. He can win, but he's got to slow Conor down. There's been a lot of talk, and I know I'm talking a lot. Just give me a second. But there's been a lot of talk. There always is about Conor's conditioning. And Mike Brown, Dustin Poirier's coach, gave an interview this week, and they're still kind of hanging on that fact that when it gets to the later rounds, he's going to slow down. Chael Sonnen thinks that narrative is untrue. We did a show earlier for ESPN. He was like, no, that's BS. I said, you're out of your mind, Chael. You're absolutely out of your mind. Time and time again, when it gets to the later rounds, Conor slows down. Against Floyd Mayweather, as the fight progressed, he slowed down. That's what he does. Now, that's not a knock on Conor McGregor. I'm not talking shit about him, but you can't have everything. You can't be a sprinter and you can't be a long distance runner at the same time. They're just different energy systems. When you look at Conor McGregor, the way that he's built, if these guys were Olympic runners, Conor would be a 100-meter sprinter, right? The most explosive, fast, boom, let's go. Dustin would be a 400-meter sprinter. So still very, very fast, but lasts longer. More of a long-distance type of guy as opposed to the sprinter. And that's the way their bodies are built. And as I say, you can't have it both ways. If you tweak Conor's body and his energy system so that he can go longer, well, he's going to lose muscle. He's going to lose a bit of the explosivity. He's going to lose a bit of that power, just like cars. If you look at a car, you look at a Lamborghini, boom, great, but it can't go, I don't know what a Lamborghini can't do, but it can't go around a racetrack. It can't do the 24-hour Le Mans, okay? Fucking Lamborghini's going to blow up. Some shit's going to go down.
I don't even know if that's a great analogy. I think the Lamborghini.
Great analogy, okay? Have you ever seen 24-hour Le Mans? You need a certain type of car to do that shit. A Lamborghini is not good for it. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that Dustin Poirier obviously has to be very committed to not getting caught in the early exchanges. You know, let me see. He has 7 decision wins, 7 submissions, 12 TKOs. I don't see him knocking out Conor.
Well, the way he's got to do it, if Dustin's going to win this fight, it's pretty simple. He's got to clinch. He's got to push him up against the fence. And he's also got to be very careful with what he chooses to do. He can't go out there and you know, just like kind of throw punches out there and things like that and just have this little feeling out process where they both just, you know, throw a little jab. No, you can't afford to throw any shots. There's going to be a risk reward. Every time you throw a shot, you're leaving yourself open to a counter. You know, so you can't, you know, sometimes you see people throw sloppy shots, just a little feeling out process. You can't do any of that because every time you throw a shot, you're leaving yourself open. And Conor only needs not necessarily one shot to knock you out, but one shot that's going to hurt you. And then that'll be the beginning of the end. So Dustin's got to be careful. He's going to be very, very selective with what he throws, and he's going to try and clinch. If he can clinch, not necessarily take him down, but push him up against the fence, force him to wrestle, get Conor to fight for underhooks and all this shit that they do against the fence, defending takedowns, trying to get underhooks, all that stuff, even get a takedown. This is going to wear on the energy systems of Conor. It's going to burn out his arms. His shoulders are going to start filling with blood and oxygen and just kind of getting tired. And then as he gets tired in round 3, round 4, then look for the finish. But if he goes out there in round 1 and says, okay, this is what we're doing. We're throwing down. We're going to have a striking affair. It's not impossible that Dustin wins, but that heavily, heavily favors McGregor.
Yeah, and I mean, he has to get past those really explosive, powerful shots of Conor, it's just easier said than done. You know, I think he has a much taller task and to fight a really committed fight to that strategy, whereas Conor, he's just looking for that shot, looking for that counter. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm rooting for Dustin. You know, I like Conor. I'm a fan of Conor, like his fighting style, his whole aura, his whole thing, but I'm always rooting against Conor for some reason. I can't explain to you why. It's like the star football player that's always getting pussy and always scoring the winning touchdowns. You just want to see that guy lose once in a while.
Okay, all right. So let's get into the main card. Let's start at the first fight on the main card, Harrington. So you just cue us up, Harrington. Give us the name, etc., etc. If I don't know, etc., etc. If we say etc., etc. to Harrington, he's going to go in. This is my big moment. He's going to give us the full breakdown. Fights they lost, fights they won, how they lost, where they're from, their favorite type of cereal. Just so he looks like he knows what he's talking about. What we want is Harrington, 2 names. Versus in between, okay? So the opening fight on the main card, what is it?
Mariana Rodriguez versus Amanda Ribas.
Ribas! Oh, why is she talking like this? She talking like this a lot. No, she does. I don't know how she talks, but she's a very pretty girl, but you know what I mean?
That voice.
Voice is fucking off the charts. It's awesome. I love her. She's Amanda Ribas is awesome. I love everything about her. Her energy. She's just full of it. She's always got a smile on her face. She fights like a motherfucker. And of course, I'm very friendly with all the team as well. So yeah, she's awesome. But Amanda Ribas, in my opinion, has a very good chance of being the champion one day. And this will be another standout performance. Marina Rodriguez, I don't know as much about her, to be honest.
I know nothing. I wish Harrington would give us a little bit of an et cetera on this.
No. But listen, I know this. I know this. This is going to be a standout, a breakthrough performance. It's a big fight card. Conor McGregor's on there. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs. This is the opening fight. And after this, people are going to be saying, wow, Amanda Ribas. I want to see more of her. I want to see her fight again. I like the way she handles herself. I love her energy. Because if she wins, she's going to get on the microphone. She's going to be smiling. She's going to be seen very likable. She's good looking. She's the whole package. She's a black belt, I think, in BJJ and in judo, and she's a hell of a striker as well. I got Amanda Ribas winning. Yeah, I say submission round 3. Boom.
I'm gonna just say submission round 2 because why not? I really want to just show you up each week. If we could just have one full card of me out picking you, I could just die a happy man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I there's other things I want to achieve in life other than winning a petty pick quarrel on a podcast.
I just want my penis for the rest of my life, and I want to beat you in one fight card.
I'll beat you with your penis. How about that?
You know what I mean?
I'll chop it off and I will smash you in the face. Oh, whoa, I'm smashing you in the face of the penis again.
Smashing me in the face.
Edit that bit out, please. All right, Harrington, what's next?
Matt Frivola versus Atman Aziatar.
Matt Frivola, the steam roller.
It's Frivola.
Yeah, Matt Frivola, the steam roller. You think I don't know his name? I've commentated this guy and I'm looking at him on Wikipedia. Dumb fuck. I know his name. Frivola, the steam roller, the Ayatollah of rock and roller. I am the controller, so you shut the fuck up. Lewis, how do you see this one going down, my friend?
Bisping, I'll let you take the lead on this one because my problem is I'm so knowledgeable on both of these guys that all of the factors and all the little ins and outs are just having a little fight in my head right now, and I really can't decide.
It'll take up too much time. You know what I mean? I'm always like, Lewis, stop going on with the in-depth breakdown of Frivola versus Aziatar. Here's the thing. Frivola's very good. He's a scrapper. He brings it every single time. He's had some good wins. He has a win over a good friend of mine and a former training partner, Jalen Turner. That's a big win. He's going up against Atman Aziatar. I think he's 13-0. Let me just look. 13-0. You know what I mean? Beat Karma Worthy. Knocked him out. That's not easy to do. And then before that, Timu Pakalin. I know the name, not familiar with him. There's his 2 fights in the UFC, but still 13-0. Got to favor that guy. He's coming in here, 2 good wins in the UFC, beat Karma Worthy, 13-0. He's going to have the confidence. Frivola's good. Frivola's very, very good, and he's a beast, and he loves to scrap. He loves to throw down. But I'm going to lean towards Atman Aziatar, if I'm even saying that right.
Yeah, I agree with you. Frivola 2-1-1 in the UFC. Yeah, I do agree with you. Undefeated. Look,
really?
Yeah, I do agree. Finally, I agree with you. But I'm gonna pick a different round. What did you say?
I didn't give a round, but I do believe that Atman Aziatar will find the flow and bring on the finishing sequence, perhaps somewhere midway through the 3rd round. I'm predicting 2 finishes in a row to open the card. Yeah, that's right. I went there.
I'm going to say unanimous decision. I think Frivola's going to give a much tougher fight than you're giving him credit for. You've always had a thing against Frivola. Off air, you talk a lot of shit about him. So we won't get into it, but Bisping does not like Frivola.
Okay, main event. I mean, I alluded to already, but I'd never actually made a solid pick. It could go either way, but I've got Conor. I think Conor wins this fight. I do, and I think he could make it look pretty easily. Dustin, if he's gonna win, it's like I said before, he's got to grapple. He's got to grapple, but it's easier said than done. Again, I said the same thing about Vitor Belfort. It's one thing saying that, it's another doing it. What do you think, Lewis?
Yeah, I agree. I think Conor is gonna, after watching Conor in that Cowboy fight and the energy and intensity that Conor came into that fight with, I have a feeling he's going to come in with the same sort of energy and intensity. I mean, honestly, that's Conor. He always comes in with that sort of intensity, but he has something to prove. I feel like he's so rich. I just saw that he spent $1 million on that awful watch. You see that watch? It's fucking awful. It's the ugliest watch I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've gone off watches. Not that I have $1 million watch, but I have a bunch of nice watches. I don't wear them anymore. I just feel like a bit of a dick in them. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm still waiting for you to give me one of those watches.
You'll be waiting a long time.
I'm gonna get you drunk one day, and I'm gonna get you to bet one of those watches on something, and I'm gonna win it.
You will not be taking one. Listen. Go on. You were saying.
I think that he doesn't need the money. He's doing this to cement his legacy as the best to ever do it, or one of the best to ever do it. Even the Mayweather thing, he seemed like he was sort of like, just wanted to pursue something different. He wasn't super motivated. Now that Khabib is sort of out of the way, I'm not saying that Conor's trying to avoid Khabib, not at all. In fact, the opposite. I think Conor really wants to get that Khabib rematch, and I think Conor probably believes he could beat him. But I think I really feel like the intensity that we saw in that Cowboy fight, it seemed like almost a new Conor, just in terms of how focused he was. He's not talking a lot of shit. I don't know if it's because he's trying to goad him into a false sense of security, like you had alluded to. But I just feel like it doesn't seem like a game. It seems like Conor is coming back to win the title, to cement himself as the best that's ever done it.
I mean, if you look at him, as you said, he doesn't need the money. you know, but still having all the money in the world, you still need something to do.